Oh hey, we're getting another vent video because I feel like it and because I have bubble guts from Popeyes and Mountain Dew. Yeah, we're gonna have to get this out of my system, just like my shit. My stomach sounds like 18 tigers fighting in a volcano explosion, by the way, if you were wondering. So, if you hear sounds, that's just my belly. I'm so tired of being lusted after or like seen as like a convenient person, not an actual friend. That's something that I find difficult. For example, even when I do try to make friends, they have to fit a certain level of requirement. The other night I was hanging out at this one social event I got invited to. They were very sweet. They were like, "Hey Tam, if you come out, we'll get you free drinks and stuff." And it's free comedy. I was like, "I bet." I showed up and I invited my buddy. And let's just say my buddy Sean, I have talked about them in a previous video, but if you're wondering, hey, why are they back if they were that same dude who left you for an hour in the rain for no fucking reason? The answer is they gave me like $200 and promised to send me even more money when I was struggling, so I thought, okay, all is forgiven, I could keep being this dude's friend. How did that go, you ask? I'll put it this way. He's the type of dude where he wants main character energy during someone else's performance. Like, I really had to explain to him, this is not an open mic, this is a showcase. You have to sit down and watch them perform. You can't ask to go up. But you know what he did anyway? While every other person performed, he thought he was being slick and saying stuff that they would appreciate, but really he was just heckling them. Like, imagine someone says a joke about, like, oh, I have big balls, and then you just hear Sean yell, like, 3 verses of Tupac at the top of his lungs at the person on the microphone. Like, nigga. I remember I just sat there kind of embarrassed, like, I can't believe I invited this nigga out. Like, holy shit, he's ruining this. Like, some people, like, I'd say one comic or two enjoyed him, but most of them were just like, he's fucking irritating. He's doing way too goddamn much. Because it's like, nigga, like, mind you, like, why at the top of your lungs are you screaming lyrics from Mama by Tupac? Totally dead silent audience. Everyone was just like, what the fuck is this nigga doing? Like, what? He also was the type of idiot where I remember before, I was running a bit late, I was like, hey, can you use my free drink ticket and get me a drink? And he said, yeah, sure. I probably won't use mine, but I can use yours so I can get you a drink. And I said, cool, and can you grab a spot for us to sit so that by the time I get there, because I'm running a bit behind schedule, like, my drink is already done and ready, and there's a spot for me to sit? And he was like, absolutely, I can do that. I remember on my way there, I texted him. I was like, did the show start yet? He said, no, not at all. And I showed up within the next 2 minutes. Guess what? The show had already been going on for apparently 10 fucking minutes. Sean is just fucking idiotic. And then also, he just took my drink and ran off with it because he decided to have a conversation with some random dude outside of the bar. He was like, oh yeah, this is my, like, I texted him, Sean, where are you? He was like, I had to sit at this the awkward end of some couple's table with my pink wig and my, God, I had to be a third wheel, awkwardly hanging off the edge of a couple's table with my little awkward little metal folding chair and no drink, sober as fuck, pissed as fuck, ankle hurting, cold as fuck, mind you. That, like, I wanted that hot toddy nice and ready for me. And then I had texted him, Sean, where are you at? The show has been going on for a while now. What the hell? He was like, oh yeah, I just dipped out real quick to talk to my best friend's ex. I just am gonna talk to them for a while. I said, well, okay, can you pause and bring me my drink first? This nigga did not respond for another 10 minutes. And then he finally responded, where you at? Come get your drink, Holmes. It's getting cold, fool. And mind you, he's an entirely white guy. He just has this thing where he talks like a fake black guy for some reason. Like, it's actually terrible. And I was like, I said, where the fuck else could I be but at the comedy show where you were supposed to be at with me? Give me my drink. Come here. And he was like, come outside and grab it for me real quick, Holmes. I said, no. You were supposed to meet me. Where do I meet you at? Where the fuck else would you meet me at? At the comedy show, in the back. And let's just say it took another, like, fucking 5 or 10 minutes, and by the time he arrived, I was giving that nigga the Stanley Kubrick stare, fucking 10-mile-yard stare across the fucking venue. Oh, he felt that so bad. He did other shit too that really pissed me off. Let's just speed up this story and say it resulted in me outside of the venue because he did more dumb shit. It resulted in me screaming at him at the top of my lungs, and you really have to piss me off to do that as a person. And there was a cop car or 3 nearby, and I just openly said, I will beat the motherfucking shit out of you right fucking now. And then I pointed at that cop car and I said, in front of that fucking cop. And the cop car driver, he was just like, what the fuck is she on and what did I do? And like, I was tweaking out, but I was gonna black out. I could feel the vision fading and shit. It was really bad. And I just was like, yeah, I need to go home because I'm processing a trauma and this is too much for me. I need to go. I need to go. And then Sean was like, wait, I didn't mean it that way. Wait. And Sean's a fucking idiot. So you could just openly say, I will beat the shit out of you in front of these cops if you do not stop talking to me and let me go home peacefully because I'm going through a lot right now and I can't do this. And he heard me say that a billion times. And you want to know what the nigga kept doing? Trying to talk to me. Eventually, a cop had to actually lean out his window and tell him, like, he was like, yeah, go ahead and go home. Go ahead and go home to me. But then he also was like, let her go home. Like, he was trying to be like, shut the fuck up, dumbass. Sean's an idiot. He's so stupid. God. And I must have scared the shit out of them because let's just say, like, I remember I was walking down the block and, like, the first cop car with the guy I flipped off, he was like, are you alright? I just want to make sure you're going to get home okay. Are you sure you're feeling okay? I said, yeah, I'm going to be fine. I'm sorry about that. I have mental issues and I've been going through a lot. It's okay. But don't worry. I'm not going to hurt anyone. I'm not going to cause a scene anymore. I'm sorry. He just pisses me off. He's not a bad guy. He's not dangerous. He's just fucking dumb. And the cop car was like, okay. But they didn't drive off and he just kind of, like 10 seconds later, he's like, are you sure you're okay and gonna get home safe? I was like, it's fine, officer. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. You're very sweet. For a cop. And, like, I didn't say that last part, obviously. I don't want to, But, and then I guess he drove off, and I didn't notice there were, like, 2 cop cars trailing behind him. It's like, damn. It's like, see, fucking white autistic friend putting me in situations where who knows, that could have went left really bad, but, ugh. The cops even circled the block, I guess. Maybe they were just concerned for me, or maybe they were concerned about what the fuck I might do to somebody else. But that nigga was pissing me off. And yeah, I haven't talked to Sean since. It's been like 2 days. Fuck Sean. There also was another hangout I invited Sean to. I told him, it's like, hey, I'm going to this comedy improv spot if you want to tag along. It's like some sort of open mic for comedy that's gonna be there. He was like, I bet. That sounds cool, Holmes. That sounds good, shawty. I'm gonna be there with the crew and the squad. And then he showed up entirely by himself because none of his alleged 5 friends were interested. Even though, like, he says that a lot. He says he's coming with people and they don't come. And he was already awkward there. I remember, let's just speed this up. This nigga. Let's just say, imagine you're at some sort of queer open mic. Like LGBT friendly, prioritized open mic, and they tell you not to say any hateful shit. And this dumbass nigga gets on the mic without anything prepared, which is already cringe enough, but he's trying, and he wanted to be the last dude performing of the night, and it was a big audience. But this nigga got on stage, and one of the jokes he said was some dumbass shit. Like, he looked at his phone, and he was just like, reading it off his notes app. It was like, instead of coming out as trans, just suck a dick. People will find out that you're trans eventually. And then the whole audience just kind of was like, or, oh, or what? Like, hella openly. Because what the fuck does that even mean? Like, don't tell people you're trans. They'll find out when you suck their dick. Or after you fuck them. It's like, what? Like, I remember I came up to him afterwards. I was like, most of you, yeah, that was a pretty solid set. That last joke was a bold move. And then Sean, with no fucking thoughts in his head whatsoever, it's just like the fucking Windows XP noise of dun 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 dun, or the AOL noise or whatever, just I'm old yes, I am old enough where I know how AOL sounds like. AOL. I haven't heard that name in years, AOL. Do people still use AOL dial-up? I don't know. Well, whatever. Let's just say this bitch ass nigga, he just was like, she is the comedy scene, Holmes. If people can't handle that shit, they can't be around here. They gotta take their bitch ass home then. Nah, I mean, entirely white, alabaster, pale man. Milk toast. Okay, just, I just kind of was like, least racist interaction with the white autistic guy in a while. And it's shit like that just kind of makes me like, making friends can be so nice. Meeting people can be so nice. But holy fucking shit. And there's a million stories I can riff off of, and some of them you've heard a million times before. It's like, oh, 1 second you're friends with the dude, and the next second he's a blithering fucking misogynist who's mad that you won't fuck him, and won't stop calling you a whore in the most passive-aggressive ways possible, and saying that you're a gold-digging harpy, and then being really, really, really perverse. And then it's like, I had one guy who was a supposed friend for years, and I guess he finally got the nerve, despite a million rejections, to actually be... Like, no, he was already, like, how do I put this? If you ask me shit, like, do you want to follow my my sexy Twitter where I post my nudes and I say no, take that as a hint. If you keep flirting with me repeatedly and then following it up with, I'm just saying that as a friend, you're ridiculously fucking sexy, and if I had a chance with you, I would take it. And I say, thank you. Let's tone down on those compliments, but I do appreciate what you're saying. Take that as a hint. Or it's not even a hint, it's clear as fucking day, but they still, I guess, after all this time, decided to outright ask me, like, do you ever see something happening between us? And I said, no, I don't. Like, I just see you as a friend. And they had a little tantrum over that, and I have not heard from them since. It's like, I don't get why they thought they had a chance, because it's like, let me get this straight. You see all my rants. You know what my exact type is. I have never once in my life said anything close to, oh yes, I really am interested in 5'3". I can't tell what their race was, but it's like, it doesn't fuck it. Let's just say they were out of shape, not cute, not interesting, not very smart, but they were sweet. And they were chill as a friend. There was nothing done to lead them on in the fucking slightest. But they still got salty because it's like, oh no, Timmy won't bang me. Like, shut the fuck up. And then dipping immediately after and never talking again. It's like, I see. I know what type of person you are. Like, ugh. Then there's the people who, like, I don't know, there's like variations of so many different types of people, and I just can't. Common sense is not that common. And I know I'll have to realize that eventually, but it's still just fucking depressing. I have a million stories I could tell you. I could tell you about that girl I was friends with over the pandemic who straight up was befriended me, and then out of nowhere was like, yeah, I think that sex workers are more or less whores and actually fucking disgusting and this and that. And she said that out of nowhere. And it's like, bitch, but you were the one in my DMs trying to ask me all about sugar baby this and that, this and that, and asking how it works and being envious of my life. And then it like and then she, ironically, it's like, bitch, you're trying to convince your ex to cheat on his new bitch with you by trying to bribe him with food and gifts and money. And he's taking all that shit and, like, running off and still being with that girl you hate. So, how do you hate sex workers when you are a trick? Or that other friend. I remember I've mentioned her plenty of times, and I feel bad every time I do because she is a sweet girl, but she fucked it up big time. Let's just say if you find out that your man is fucking a teenager, is like, like full on going to her high school to pick her up. It doesn't matter if she's like freshly 18. Doesn't matter. Like he's in his 30s, like early 30s, mid 30s, fucking on a high schooler, telling her the exact same lies he's been telling you for 8 fucking years of marriage and kids, and you still stay with him and you still do double penetration with him raw, knowing damn well he doesn't want you, and that he's given you hella STDs before. It's like, oh, you're a certain level of stupid and foregone that I can't handle. And it really pains me to say that, because like she has been an amazing person as I've known her, but I don't know, I've seen her at her best and her worst. And her worst was, I remember after she told me about the STD incident, she said something to me like, oh, well, if Juan, if I tell Juan not to do anal sex with me in the same week he'll do it with another girl, he'll listen to me, he'll respect that. And I was like, I kind of bit it a little, my mouth a little bit, and she noticed, and I was like, are you sure you should trust that? And she was like, why wouldn't I? And I said, well, and the silence spoke enough, because she just duck-glitted me hella fucking hard. And I was like, well, okay, if whatever you say, as long as you trust him, that works for me. What makes you happy, girl? But she knew what the fuck I meant with that little, because I gave her a little look back, and it's like she didn't like that. And I remember that was around the time my ex Morgan stopped being a fucking nightmare, at least for a few months. He was really, really good, like doing great by me, actually, astoundingly good. And I remember my specific friend at the time with the toxic fuck buddy wannabe boyfriend 8 years bullshit. I remember she told me before that she had a prophecy that he was going to start treating me well in her dreams. And I guess once it started coming into fruition, while her and her own man were going terribly, she kind of wanted to like take out her anger on me. So I guess she saw me like getting jewelry and getting roses and extremely nice dates and seeing him all the time and having great sex. And she just is like, you do know he's only seeing you because he can't get pussy from anywhere else, right? Like he would not be seeing you otherwise. Like if he were getting pussy from anywhere else, he's just seeing you because it's convenient. He does not want you, girl. It's like, bitch. Oh, that's funny that you say that, because I don't even need to say it, because she already knows. He tells her himself. Like, wow. Anyway, like, I'll keep it cute. But yeah, she got out of pocket. And then, I don't know, I distanced from her after that and then only came back in her life to kind of support her when she found out about the whole, oh, he's been fucking a teenager and lying and saying all the same lies to her as he did to me. He never wanted to marry me type shit. And he was so terrible to her. So terrible. But he did openly get on video call because both the teenager and my friend at the time both got on the phone with Juan and they were like, we're gonna do have a girl boss moment. We're gonna confront him together and see what he does. This nigga just bust out laughing. He was like, "Ha ha, stupid bitches! I wouldn't have gotten away with it if only you had high self esteem and cared about yourself and had a fucking brain, but you don't use it. You don't care about yourself. So that's why men like me get away with it. So that's actually on you for being stupid fucking bitches. That's what you get, dumbass." And then he was like, "Now I'm gonna go ahead and fuck my third bitch. Bye." And she cried about that for about 2 weeks. And then guess what happened at the end of the 2 weeks? She hit me up like, "Hey girl, guess what? I just got double penetrated. It felt so fucking good." And I said, "Oh, thank God. You met someone new. That's great. Who's the new fella?" And then she doesn't respond for a long time. And I knew what that meant. And she was like, "Girl, you already know who." Yeah. Anyway, after that and a few other, no, it was just that moment. Like some other things happened in the past, but that moment right there, I was like, yeah, I can't keep being her friend. Because that's, nah. That, nah, just no. I had to stop being friends with this one other girl because I remember she was like, ooh, sorry. I had to stop being friends with this one girl because specifically she went to, like, she risked her health and sanity and all this shit to go fuck on this dude with daughters older than her. And it was hella fucked up and out of pocket. Like, it's like she fucked some old dude in his like 50s or something for half of a Subway sandwich, a little bit of a fruit plate, and some weed, and to raid his like wine cabinets for a few days, like just drinking nothing but alcohol for several days straight and fucking this old man. And after she asked me for like a whole fucking day, for like several hours, asked me for sugar baby advice, she did the did opposite of all of it. And then she had the nerve to be like, well, he doesn't like women who do sugar baby shit for the sake of social status or financial gain. That's the fucking point of being a sugar baby. Just you could have just fucked an old man and I could have saved hours of information and resources and breath on you, you dumb bitch. And if you're wondering how she's doing these days, let's just say there's this dude in her 40s who she's taking care of emotionally and financially, and it's yeah. I don't know. The thing that my most recent Christmas fling told me is he said, "Hey, if someone seems like they're in a stupid situation and they aren't leaving, then clearly they're happy where they are, so don't even feel bad for them." Which is a fucked up perspective, but true enough, I suppose. With my Christmas fling, I wanted us to just be either a fucking fling, just something short term that I could at least know was going to end after a certain point and cherish for years. And instead, it's a traumatic memory that I have to now get the fuck over and process because he betrayed my trust. And also, we aren't even going to be friends because, yeah, nigga's a fucking liar and a terrible person in a lot of ways. And, oof. And that was so heartbreaking because I felt like with the Christmas fling, like before I really processed what happened when I was drunk at that hotel room, like everything else about it, I thought to myself, wow, I haven't felt this connected to a person in years. And I feel like maybe this could even be someone where I'm friends with them for a few months or maybe even some years down the line. It would be lovely to, like, I don't know, be in touch with this person and then see their children grow up and the type of life they lead and like what happens between them. That would be lovely. But life has a way of surprising you for the worse. So what can I say? I've thought that with many friends. I remember I was friends with this one guy, and let's just say some shit happened between me and him and an old ex that should have not happened at all. Like, if you know, it's like, hi, if you bring up this ex around me or put me in a situation where I can know of his existence online, like, don't do that to me. It'll flare up the mental illness in my brain, and that can cause really, really bad emotional breakdown and, like, mental episodes that we want to avoid. And then you put me in a situation where that can happen, then yeah, you're no longer going to be seen as a friend. It's like, I don't know. He also wanted to hide the fact that I was his friend too, which was confusing. It's like, I don't know. I've had people I've met in this lifetime where I thought we would be friends until our 90s, and those people now have me blocked or have changed their numbers, or I can never speak to again. I have people who I thought would be around for when I'm 50 and we'd like be hanging out in the mountains, or like I'd invite them for tea in my garden as an old lady, and they're nowhere to be found, and I even sometimes forget their name. And it kind of makes me sick. I don't know. Like, no wonder I've been depressed. No wonder I wanted to kill myself for the past several fucking years. No wonder I got into fucked up abusive relationships. I have a bunch of trauma, and like, anytime I actually do find someone I can get close to, then they're either unbelievably stupid or unbelievably cruel or just like so in their own world and they don't think about anyone else but themselves. And what's fucked up is that I will, like, I even clocked myself last night. I was gonna talk to my buddy Seamus. And I just kind of asked him. I was like, "Hey, dude, how's it going with your girlfriend and stuff?" And kind of like I was letting him talk to me a tiny bit, but even then he was slow to respond, and it was really getting to me. So I just kind of said, you know what? I realized something about myself is that I will sometimes get tangled up in someone else's life or drama or bullshit because it'll be at least a like it'll distract me from my own, and I can feel better helping out other people with their issues because my own shit seems unsolvable. And I just said, so you know what? Actually, I'm gonna have to ask you about your girlfriend later. I do care, but I have to say it. I met this amazing guy recently who I think I almost fell in love with. And I not only have to deal with the heartbreak of things ending, but I also might have to report him to the police for sexual assault because. And I'm dealing with the massive betrayal of having the most amazing bond I might have felt with someone ever, or at least for several fucking years. Just also having to be such a terrible experience with a terrible guy, and I don't know how to feel anymore. This shit fucking sucks. Every day I wake up and my phone's dry. And it sucks because the people who actually could get my phone wet, it's like it's the people who lust for me. They don't actually care about me. They'll ask me, "How have you been?" But only because they're hoping that one day after enough conversation they can finally fuck me or take me out on a date. And it's like, no. Or it'll be people who say they want to be my friend and get to know me, but then they'll see me post online or see me talk about my life or see me desperate for any sort of connection, and they won't get involved. The most you'll get is like a story like from them maybe now and then. I'm just so tired. But I guess that's why I appreciate that I have a YouTube channel, because this is the place I go to for when it gets too bad. When it all gets too much. And it's like sometimes you don't want to just scream into the abyss. Or it does kind of feel like the abyss, but I've been surprised. I know once, this is the beauty of it. I remember once I was on here and I was having such an awful day, and I thought to myself, okay, you know what? The people closest to me don't know about my YouTube channel, or at least they haven't found it yet, and I would like to process my life and how I feel. So, I made a really long video on here talking about a lot of trauma, and instead I thought it was going to get 0 views. It actually ended up with like very sweet people reaching out like, "Oh honey, I was in your shoes before, don't worry," and they told me their life story, and they talked to me and cared for me and listened to me and made me feel valued. And it's like, oh, I didn't expect to get wonderful life advice from some random woman in Tennessee who just so happened to be available then to watch my video for like an hour straight. But that truly was a blessing. Or like people actually watching my content. Like, I appreciate that recently through the hard times I've been going through, I've had people reach out and be like, "Yeah, you've been going through a lot. I broke down crying hearing you talk about what happened, and I'm so sorry you need to go that you're going through this." And it makes me feel not alone. That's a blessing. And I am just letting you know I am so fucking grateful that I'm able to make people laugh or cry or relate to things or listen to me talk. And I'm glad to be heard. You don't, it's a big factor to my mental unwinding was I haven't felt heard or listened to in years or cared for. So I appreciate that. Motherfucking fly. Oops, sorry. Ow, my hand. That hurt like a bitch. I'm sorry. Didn't mean to jump scare you. But yeah, it's a blessing. Now I guess the only thing is, what else can I do today to make myself happy? I was thinking about doing Twitch streaming. Then that way it could be like, I don't know, like let's say some of you were free and available when I was, then I could just hop on Twitch and play a little video game and tell some more life stories without like a little time constraint, and that could be nice every now and then. And yeah, I'm working on focusing on me and centering myself, not centering men or romance or orgasms, because those are wonderful, but it's like there's a lot of beauty in the world. I have inner work to do, I have chakras to enhance and heal on, I have writing and journaling to possibly work on as well. Maybe. I have goals that I have put on the back burner because I was too busy processing trauma or being put in new situations, and I'm finding a way to make my life feel more full and whole, because I would hate for it to just be another year of me laying down on my floor and crying on the internet, and I got shit to do. I don't know what happens next, but I'm feeling optimistic, and it's all because of wonderful people like you who listen to me and leave thoughtful comments and are very sweet. I hope you have yourself a wonderful day and a wonderful life, and I'm really looking forward to seeing what the world has in store for us next. Hopefully a lot more blessings. That would be amazing. Anyway, peace out.